Hi, everybody. So far, a great day. And I'm excited to be back talking with you about my favorite subject right now, which, of course, is about the data that's needed to navigate through all of these activities that you've been hearing about. And so I'm very excited to have John Banks with me again today. Hi, John. How are you today?
Excellent, Kathryn. Great first day, and so far a great second day.
You bet. So we're going to talk a little bit before we get started, kind of looking and diving into the kinds of questions that come up. For those of you that were on yesterday, you know that John is with Escalent. I'll let him introduce himself in just a second. But my passion for data is what started Work Truck Solutions. The fact that I discovered that vehicles configurations for these wonderful, rich, exciting upfitted vehicles was not being captured anywhere. So that's the foundation of why Work Truck Solutions was founded almost 10 years ago. So we'll have our 10-year anniversary in December, John. How about
Wow.
Of course,
Yeah,
there's
that's
years
great.
before that where you're running around trying to figure out what is going on in this industry. It's so fragmented, right?
Yes.
Um, but I met you guys early. You were more pace at the time, but then became Escalent. And we've been friends for a while because you guys are truly, as far as I could see, the only data company in the world that understands commercial at all. So
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, we've been working hard and working with your team, and we're excited to announce some of the working relationships that we have and solutions that will be coming to market. And I can just take a minute, talk a little bit about my background. I've been in the automotive transportation industry for a number of years, and very close to the forecasting industry and providing insight into not just light vehicle, but now heavily into commercial vehicle and fleet management and so forth. And so we're very excited to talk through some of the new solutions that we're bringing to market and working with Work Truck Solutions. And then the announcement that we made earlier this week as far as acquisitions as well, that we're all working together. Yeah.
actually, John, what's exciting is that yesterday was the first real announcement, right, on
Right.
Commercial Vehicle Business Summit. And then this morning, the press release went out. And what is that press release, John?
So let me just jump to it here real quick,
Yep.
as long as things will participate. So there's a well-known company in the industry for the last 20 years, Ryan Associates, and they've been known for the Ryan Report and a variety of other great forward-looking pieces of insight relative to commercial vehicle. And so we're happy to announce the acquisition of Ryan Associates, and then also a strategic partnership with Work Truck Solutions with Kathryn and team. And Escalent is bringing this trifecta of knowledge together. And yesterday we walked through some of the solutions that we're trying to really help the market with, and to help with not only current view on the demand side, but also the supply side and the future view as well. So yes, we announced just this week that this is all coming together very rapidly. And we've been working on it for a while, right, Kathryn?
Yep. But like everything else, it's hurry up and then wait, right? But I think it's really important also to say to the audience today that you particularly have driven this, John, and I really appreciate that, have ideas for solutions that still needs a lot of feedback.
Right.
So, certainly the audience should feel free to ask us questions in the chat, but also at the end of our conversation, there's going to be a slide with your contact information. And so they should reach out directly to you about ideas of things that are missing that they would like to see, around ideas of problems and pain points that they have. And so it'll be interesting as we walk everybody through what they feel is missing. And then, like you said, yesterday we covered a couple, today we're covering different ones, right? So
yes,
if you didn't get a chance to see it yesterday, we will have the sessions live on video within a week or so. And of course, if you're here today, you're very smart because you will be notified when that happens. So I guess let's go ahead and get started. I really
Yeah.
like the way that you've defined the name of what this is, right?
So one point to again reinforce is the reason why you and I are talking today is because of that feedback loop that we're looking
Right.
for. So when we look at what the needs are for commercial vehicle, and that's everything from the OEMs and the upfitters and the OE suppliers and a variety of other tangential aspects of the industry, we really are looking to solve a lot of the missing pieces today. So let me go ahead and jump into what we're referring to is Commercial Vehicle 360, so a complete view and, again, a suite of solutions. So it's not just one-stop shop. We're coming up with a variety of offerings. And one of the ones that we were looking at was this vocational truck analysis. So you want to set it up, or you want me to just jump right into it?
No, you go ahead and jump into it, and then I'll poke you with questions.
So one of the things that we discovered early on is that upfitters today have to really deal with a variety of disparate data sets. And what I mean by that is PDFs, a lot of storytelling in these PDFs, the bodybuilder guide that we've all grown up to live with, by model, by make, published out on a variety of different websites. And so one of the things that we're working on now is bringing all that data into a normalized information infrastructure. And this is going to be great. Even yesterday, when some of the discussions went around, chasing OEMs for information, and we've all been part of different measurement seminars to try to see new vehicles and figure out if our upfit's going to fit and work on that. Are there holes pre-drilled for us to use? Where do we weld to the frame without messing with the integrity?
John, let me make sure everybody understands. When you're using the term normalized, you mean that it's in a database so that you can actually search. You can say, I'm looking for this,
right,
this brand, and I'm looking for something specific, right?
Yes. So imagine, I'll use an example of when you go to bestbuy.com and you want to find a laptop, and you're looking at the screen size and the hard drive and things, characteristics that either make it desirable to you or an understanding of, well, why does that sell so well? How come that product moves quicker? So yes, we're going to provide a user interface, a database of information. We'll include historical info as well as current makes and models. And yes, you're right. It'll be a very interactive offering. And so when we think about the way that the industry works today, the demand and supply don't necessarily talk to each other. They try, but when we think about the supply side and the build out of the chassis, it's not necessarily known, the bodybuilder or the upfit or the vocation. I think the example yesterday from the gentleman from Napide was, with Hurricane Ian, they needed a lot more transportation trucks, different types of trucks to move a lot of debris and so forth. Where do you get the chassis to do the upfit to get it down there to meet the need? And so this will help. And this also complements some of the other offerings that we talked about yesterday. And then there's another one that we'll bring up here today.
Well, I like the statement here about compare. That's kind of the next level. I know if you think of data, right? Here's the data, right? Blah. And then, here's the data that you can search more easily. You can, it becomes more and more of a tool to use. But then when you start being able to compare things and you start being able to track things and et cetera, that's when it starts getting to be even more valuable for stakeholders in the industry. I agree with you, OEMs and upfitters and stuff, but I'm guessing that this will even be of interest to a bigger, diverse group in the ecosystem as we learn from feedback what people are interested in. So once again, reiterating that this is that place, that pivotal place where we're starting down a journey of being able to make things more transparent, more usable, more actionable, right?
Right. And that's where Escalent has been traditionally known as a primary research company. We have worked for years, decades actually, on that, both primary and secondary research. And so it's through a lot of this insight that we've been able to build on, and taking that knowledge now to build out these solutions that we think will really be taken well in the market. We'll iterate. And we think that because of our relationship with a lot of the major OEMs in North America, that they'll be amenable to helping with this quest that we have, this solution that we'll build and bring to market. And we are, as we worked with your team and others, we're looking for that feedback loop again to say, how do we want to consume this? And you and I have talked through that as well.
You know what, though, John? I just had a brainstorm. And of course, me, I'm always going to put it on record, right? I think we should come up with a kind of a panel committee group, right? Sort of like what we've done here on Commercial Vehicle Business Summit, where that group is very, very diverse.
Yeah.
Rather than siloing that kind of interview, we should invite people to reach out and join. We'll have to come up with a CV panel
advisory. Yeah.
Advisory. There you go. CV advisory committee or something like that.
Sure.
So if you're listening to me, you guys are hearing it fresh. Because I think what happens in these kind of environments where people have that different viewpoints and perspectives, that's where the magic comes from, right?
Yes. And that's where when we looked at this need in the market, and it's a very valuable need. I mean, there's a lot of great info that is put into these, as I referred to it, these storytelling PDFs where they describe the unique aspects of it, or they describe the features, the cab content, where's the PTO, the electronic PTO, where are we with different aspects of the vehicles, and what has changed. Will it negatively or positively impact my product or what I'm doing for the market? So we're very interested in getting the first version out there quickly and allowing people to interact with it. And then, as you said, we'll iterate and solicit a lot of feedback to continue to strengthen that offering and leverage our OEM relationships to help bring that data in natively versus a bunch of disparate PDFs.
Right. Yeah. Structured data. It's like the gold standard, right?
Right.
Well, I know we've got a few more to go through. You jump to the next one now.
Yeah. So, total available market.
TAM, baby, TAM.
TAM. So you want to give just a brief description on TAM as you see it?
Yeah, I think, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm what's called a serial entrepreneur. So TAM is a big deal for me. TAM is, the juice, the description of what the future could be, right? It's the total available market. It's not, hey, what's happening today. It's not, what part I have, which of course is market share. It's not what I can get from my competitor, right? Which is their market share. It's about what the blue sky really is. And you need that. You need that to know whether or not it's worthwhile to invest, to, whether it's me trying to get money from an investor, right? And they want to invest, they want to get things back, or it's a company thinking through their strategy of how they should put their limited resources. Resources are always limited, right?
Yeah.
So it's when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is really super. Yeah. So
Escalent has a mature offering today called Fleet Advisory Hub, and it's a community that we use and we interact with, and we're going into our 4th year now. I would highly recommend anybody interested in fleets and the management of that and what's going on. It's a great offering. Well, there's a subset to that called Fleet Technology Index, where we actually look at adoption of technology brought out to the commercial vehicle market. So then what we thought was that we would there's a variety of topics that we focus on. And so whether it's adoption of cryptocurrency or safety features within the commercial vehicle industry as we know it, here we talk about one scenario relative to drones. But the idea is that there will be not only a deep research position on what we believe the total available market will be on this topic. There'll also be a future view, a competitive landscape view of when will this technology come to market. And this view goes all the way out to the 2030s. So we're very interested to work with Work Truck Solutions and look at the convoy aspect of day-to-day activities, and now start to seed some of these new technologies to see just what the interest is going forward. So
okay, so maybe I should stop you, John, and let everybody know who may not know, because I never want to assume anything. And that is, John is referring to our national marketplace, which is called Comvoy, COMVOY.com, which was launched 3 years ago as a way to help the end buyer find quickly and with as little friction as possible the perfect truck or van that they need for their business, right? And so you're right, John. You know, early days, and when we first launched, there wasn't a lot of data, but over 3 years, we've gotten good at understanding online engagement and behavior, and vocations and types of vehicles and searches and stuff like that. So I agree.
Yeah. So we picked kind of a fun one here, right? So when will, and again, I'll take some liberties with my example. When will a Rivian van, AKA Amazon Prime van, pull into your subdivision? And there'll be an upfit to that will hydraulically or pneumatically open the top of the van. Mm-hmm. And then all the drones that are preloaded with their package will scurry off throughout the neighborhood and deliver all the packages.
Pictures of this. I don't it's really happening, but I've seen pictures, right?
Right. So when we start to think about, well, what is the total available market for something like that? And when would an enabler, if there was a need for that, we know right now there's licensing issues on drones and line of sight and so forth, and pilot licenses and everything. So what's the position? What's the available market as we look out to the 2030s for such a thing? And as we mentioned earlier, so an OEM wants to think about, okay, well, do I make that, or do I offer that to the upfit? What do I have to do if somebody peels open the top of my vehicle like a tin can and then has to retrofit, upfit that to support this type of delivery mechanism? And then and then to recall all the drones, close up the top, and go to the next subdivision, right? Or the next area.
I think it's exciting, and it'll be very interesting to see what themes are most popular to be researched and handed up like this, right?
Yeah, there's a variety. We'll do the traditional ones, so telematics capabilities. We've already done the ADAS version of that. We'll look at autonomy. Blockchain, when will a driver be able to pull in and charge their battery or diesel up and be able to pay with a cryptocurrency, a Bitcoin or something from the center console? What does that look like? Do fleet managers even care about cryptocurrencies today and so forth? So we'll have a lot of forward-looking info, and then as we've done in the past, working with your team to look at current demand, current snapshot, and then being able to provide this future view.
Cool.
So we've got one more.
Yep. And we did talk about this yesterday, but I think given that I spent how much time after the session getting caught up on my emails yesterday, because we were very busy during the day. But let's look at. So John, I need help. Will you be my curator?
Yes, we'll be your curator. So when we think of targeted monitoring, just as you had mentioned, we're thinking of a content curation of specific info, highly customized. And so we think about this as a capability, not even just an offering, but a capability. So when we start to think about total available market, we start to think about technology trends. Today, our inbox is full of a variety of different important information, and it's really trying to get to the essence of the important information within a variety of other emails and deliveries of information. And so we have put together the ability to now curate specific content and deliver that to you on a weekly basis.
And there will be a little better than how Google does it, right?
Right. So, and we will add some additional insight into what we believe will be a positive impact based on what we're evaluating, or a negative impact on what we're evaluating. So kind of a so what factor as well. And this way, when you subscribe and utilize this technology, you'll be able to then pick these highly customized, targeted aspects that will be important to you. And hopefully this will help and look at specific information that's out there. The ubiquity of the internet is so vast. It's how do I get to those needles in the haystack, if you will, of information, and then also trend it and track it over the course of months, quarters, and years. So we're very excited about working with your team on this as well, and looking at being able to leverage this to now track in real time what's going on, again, in a weekly cadence, and then a monthly summary as well, and a narration on what might matter to you, and again, highly customizable. So we're really interested in this launch, and just seeing how well it's received, and soliciting feedback, as we've talked before.
Well, I think it wouldn't hurt to kind of focus a little bit more on Escalent as the expert at this, because you guys have been around for what, 40 something years, and
Yep.
Started as a primary research group working with Ford Motor Company, and that grew into an expanded business with different verticals, but still very connected to automotive. And just, I know I went off on this yesterday, but my marketing professor hat on, primary research is, of course, talking to customers or subjects in real time to find out what's happening now. That's primary. You're doing it now for a particular question that you have. Very important, very good, very specific skill set though, and being good at that, and having your different groups that you also have developed where you're getting ongoing feedback from. That's really important. And then I know that you guys acquired a secondary research company a couple of years ago, which is also very important. Secondary research is being really good at finding all the data that's out there already, and being
Right.
able to parse it and compare it and turn it into this kind of information as well too, because just having it and having a lot of it, but not being able to actually, organize it and use it and compare it and stuff like that is important. And then I know you've added a team of data scientists, because that's another thing that's really important. Data is great, but if you don't have somebody who understands what's important about the data, it's overwhelming, right? So being
Right.
able to take massive amounts of data and turning it into just the important part of the data, that's a science. That's a science. And that investment you guys have made, and then now acquiring Rhine, which has very unique data. They have
Yes.
historic and access to ongoing current data that is around the supply side, right? I
Yes.
think that, that was what sold me on you guys being the best partners to work with in this space, because of all the expertise that you have, that is continued to focus on getting a better view of this industry. And I have to say, just as a side note, it's been, for me, since 2007 in the industry, it's been one of the challenges I often think of, pushing the rock uphill, right?
Right.
That Greek story, right? It's been challenging to have acknowledgement that this space is an important space. It's been challenging to have, people that, at the time when we started the company, the average age in a dealership's commercial department was over 65. That really hasn't changed, but now that's happening. I was also at the NTEA's Executive Summit, a great event last week, and I think at least half the people there were coming from a different part of the transportation industry, maybe supply chain, maybe whatever, but they were
Yeah.
young and they expected to have data, and they expected
Right.
to have an attitude around what you've been hearing over yesterday and today of trying things and being open for change and trying to get ahead of the curve, right? And
Right.
so I'm very encouraged, and I just wanted to let you know, John, how excited that I am and the company are to be moving forward with this type of a project. So
It's very exciting. Yeah, Escalent has been known, as you said, as primary research, and will continue to be known for primary research. The investment that we've made now, not only last year, this year, and continuing forward, is really now to take this expertise. As you said, we have great data scientists, the ability to get to answers very quickly to some of the questions that are out there. And what we did was we looked
John,
at,
put
well,
up
what,
your slide that has your information on it, because yeah, there you go. Now keep
and
talking.
so what we looked at was, the light vehicle market, as you referred to. A lot of the individuals that are now moving into commercial vehicle have come from the light vehicle side of it. And they expect to see certain capabilities and access to information and data, and it's not readily available. And so that's where we went out and looked for best in class providers of info. And that's where the relationship that Escalent, as you said, historically with Work Truck Solutions and with you specifically, that really bubbled to the top very quickly. And so that's the beauty of it, is taking a lot of this, pick however you want to describe it, non-normalized, the disparate data sets that are out there. And now you start to link that together. And that's where we talked yesterday about, connecting the supply side, the view out to 2030 of what's going on, what's going to happen, being able to leverage that, whether it's market intelligence or product planning, and then start to look at the demand side. What are people looking for today, and why are they looking at that? And that's where we've really excelled, is really digging into those questions and then coming up with those answers that drives behavior, whether it's buying behavior or driving behavior, adoption rates of new technology, inhibitors. We had just the panel right before this with Casey, who's part of our energy group and automotive group on the electrification side with our EV Forward offering. So there's all this information, and we're just really excited now to bring that to market, leverage it, and then to build these solutions up, working with great companies such as Work Truck Solutions and you, Kathryn.
All righty. Well, we're down to the time. I did want to let everybody know that, of course, these recordings are going to be available. You are smart because you registered, and so you'll get notification. We're also going to be posting them on some of our podcast, and we're going to post the podcast so you can see some of the other interviews that we've done more recently. And then in honor of the upcoming holidays, I also want to give you all a gift, and I'm going to have the team post our lovely commercial vehicle work truck coloring book for all your kids. So talk to you later today. Thanks.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Thank you, Kathryn.